Welcome back into MnM Going Deep. It is week 16 in the NFL season. Week 15's in the books. Playoff picture is a lot more clear. Some teams might be frauds. Some teams might be actually pretty good. And other teams are just dreaming of a draft pick right now. Cole, your team's on the inside, just looking for better playoff position right now. Did get some help last week with the Bills beating the Detroit Lions. And your team took care of business on Sunday Night Football. How you feeling?
Well, I don't think it really matters what the Lions do. I mean, it would take a miracle for the Packers to get the 1 seed, and I really don't even want to care about that. But yeah, I think 3 weeks left. Kind of sad. We don't have that much left in the NFL season already, and so for those that aren't in the playoffs, you're already looking at just a handful of games, and college football this weekend is going to be massive, and then really you've got 3 to 4 weeks of really good football, where you got a full slate on the weekend. And then after that, we're in the NFC AFC championship games where you get 4 games a week, 2 games a week, and then
That one.
de- depression.
Yeah, and then we got to make our way out of the cold winter, dust the snow off, and hopefully April showers bring May flowers. All right, let's kick it off with Week 15. First down, baby. First down is brought to you by not Army because they lost to Navy. Um, Thursday night football, Rams at 49ers. This game was disgusting. Rams take the win 12-6. No touchdowns scored in this game, barely any yards. You were talking about it while we were doing the podcast last week that it was a struggle to get a first down in this game. It was ugly. Brock Purdy didn't play well, but neither did the Rams. They just outlasted the 49ers.
Yeah, both teams. This is going to sound cliche and dumb, but I, Rams and Niners both looked like they were playing extremely hard on defense, and so
That
it
is
looked like
true.
the energy. It was a high energy game. It just didn't seem like it was always third down and a good pass breakup or a defensive line got to the quarterback right as he was throwing the ball. So I don't know. It's that was a massive fucking game, and that really all but put when you look at what the Seahawks happened, that put the Rams now in the division lead, and they've really got every opportunity to take the NFC West now.
Yeah, Rams have gotten healthier over the last few weeks. They've started to play complementary football on both sides of the ball. You saw that really well the last 2 weeks with, their defense not really standing tall in the second half against the Bills, but doing just enough in order to beat them. And then this week against the 49ers, defense stands tall. Offense slumps, but does just enough to get the win. 49ers fall to 6-8 on the season, kind of a lost season for them. Now a lot of rumors are starting to swirl about what to do with Brock Purdy. Maybe Kyle Shanahan moves on. I would say it would be a mistake to move on from Kyle Shanahan as a team that did move on from Kyle Shanahan. And then the other thing about Brock Purdy, what are you going to do? Bring Sam Darnold back?
Nobody in hell is thinking about getting rid of Kyle Shanahan.
I
Kyle
mean, nobody
Shanahan,
in their right mind, but I know 49ers fans are.
Kyle Shanahan's the best coach in the NFL.
I don't know about that.
I'm trying to think of a coach better
His
than
name
Kyle
is
Shanahan.
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid's gonna not last that much longer. I love him.
I mean, Andy Reid beat him twice in a Super Bowl.
I know. I'm just saying Andy Reid is it's like picking a 42-year-old quarterback over a 26-year-old quarterback. You're not gonna pick 42-year-old.
I'd say Andy's got 5 years left.
If okay, I mean if he wants to beat Jerry Jones out there,
No, I think
I
he wants. I think he actually wants to beat Shula's record.
okay. I mean, yeah.
It would take probably about 5 years to do.
We agree Kyle Shanahan is
Top
a top
top
three
three,
pick.
top three. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Rams move into that good playoff positioning, taking the division lead, just like you said. We'll move into Sunday now. Chiefs at Browns. Chiefs 21, Browns 7. Big story coming out of this game. Patrick Mahomes injured ankle, just like what was that, 2 years ago? The Philly year. Um, Injured ankle, limped off the field. Carson Wentz had to finish the game. Now his status is in question for Sunday. I did see reports earlier today that he is going to play on Sunday.
And Jameis Winston, three more interceptions. Dorian Thompson Robinson is now the starter. That
Yep.
was announced, what, yesterday or this morning?
Yeah, absolutely pitiful. Even though Jameis throws interceptions, Dorian Thompson Robinson is not going to move the ball down the field like Jameis Winston does in the Browns offense. The Browns have done this multiple times now where they've put DTR into the starting role and the offense looks clunky and he can't get the ball to wide receivers when they're wide open or to the tight ends or anything like that. He uses his feet in decent fashion, but it's not sufficient enough to put points up on the board. So I would be blown away if the Browns score more than 20 points on Sunday against the Bengals. And the Bengals have a very bad defense.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that take. I think Jameis Winston's at best he can throw 350 yards and
I'll take the picks. It's fun to watch. I feel like we're in the game, even though he's throwing interceptions.
yeah.
Like any play, we can score a 70-yard touchdown. We can't do that with DTR. I'm telling you that right now.
But
Um,
Chiefs took the one seed. You're really looking at I don't see a way that they drop three games and let the Bills take them. So
I mean, they do have a tough 3 games on the horizon here with 3 games in 11 days with Houston, Pittsburgh, and Denver the last three. I do agree with you that I don't foresee them losing two of them.
yeah.
Moving on now, we got the Bengals 37, Titans 27. Joe Burrow continues his MVP type year on a bad football team. The Bengals move to 6-8. The Titans fall to 3-11. Will Levis is benched in this game. Bengals looking scary. 3% chance to get in the playoffs. Glimmer of hope. I
Yeah.
doubt that 3% becomes a reality, but
I'm trying to think. I believe that if the Chargers lose to the Broncos tonight and the Bengals beat the Browns, that odds stacks tremendously. But that's again because the Bengals play the Broncos and Steelers the last 2 weeks.
yeah. Issue is Bengals lost head to head to Chargers.
Yeah, but then the Chargers would all of a sudden what have seven losses and they've crashed because they were at three I think they've lost three straight or
No,
something.
they beat
They've
the
lost
Falcons.
they've lost four or five, I believe. They have not been playing well as of late, but they've also had a tough schedule.
Yeah, they've been playing up in class and opponents with, Chiefs, Bucks on the slate. Titans, I'm guessing they're probably now in the quarterback market for draft, even though what is it? There's 6 teams at 3-11 right now. So even though you have one of the worst records in the NFL, you're sitting at like the fifth overall pick. Next game we got Saints. Commanders 20, Saints 19. This game came down to the wire. I would say if Spencer Rattler started from the jump, Saints probably win this game because Jake Haener looked terrible, and the game completely changed when Spencer Rattler came in and was able to move the ball against the Commanders' defense. Next thing you know, Saints score a touchdown. There was some mismanagement with the clock, granted, with the referees, but the Commanders were able to make a play on the 2-point conversion and they won the game.
And that all came into the that 2 point conversion. That was the reason. Is that what you're
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah, I was just saying that like Yeah, there was mismanagement in the clock, but the Commanders made a play, like put up or shut up, and won the game. Bottom line, in my opinion, though, is the Commanders are a 9-5 football team going against a 5-9 team, and they shouldn't be in that situation of letting up 12 points in the fourth quarter and potentially losing the game.
Yeah. And you look at the NFC, and we can talk about it at the end of the games. Just, I think there's a really deep slate of teams of who's really like who can really win and who's scary in the NFC, and you can make a long list. And I still think the Commanders have some fight to them, and they're not a easy out by any means. But I think relative to the other 7 or 8 teams that I think are on the outside looking in, or in, they're probably one of the better matchups.
Yeah, I would say, especially if they line up against the Eagles for a third time in the playoffs. Those third time games are always a tricky one to predict, even if a team has beaten the other one 2 times in a season, whether handedly or not, it is still almost a coin flip when it gets down to that third. I would like to know the statistic of uh, what's the record of a team like going against a team for the third time, lost the first two, what their record is. I would like to know that stat, but I don't know it off the top of my head. All right, next game we got Ravens at Giants. Ravens 35, Giants 14. Giants lost season. Looks like Shadur Sanders is going to New York. Ravens do exactly what they should do, beat the shit out of a bad opponent and rest the starters in the fourth quarter, basically.
Yeah, I didn't watch this game, so I did not have that one on one of the TVs I was watching.
Yeah, neither did I. All right, next game, Jets, Jaguars. Kind of a fun one. Jets 32, Jaguars 25. Jets kind of put it all together. Your boy Devontae Adams had another breakthrough game, 196 yards, what, 190 of them in the second half or something like
Yeah,
that?
pretty much everything in the second half, and I still think Adams is a top tier receiver. You look back at like Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald never just fell off a cliff. Larry Fitzgerald had a really good last 3 years, and then like his last year was kind of just very complimentary role type player. I think Devonte Adams still has 2 more years of being really, really good, but after that, yeah.
Moving forward, do you see Rodgers returning to New York?
Um, I do. It depends on how this season ends, and you think that's kind of like a joke, but honestly, I think if the Jets win the next two of the next three or something like that, you're looking at them saying, "Wow, like the Jets have they look good." I don't know what with Adams, what his contract is and everything, so I don't know. I would say it's going to depend on the outlook of what other situations happen and who comes in the front office for the Jets. I think those are going to be the hinging factors.
And Woody Johnson stops getting players based off Madden ratings?
Exactly.
Fun article today. Jaguars fall to 3-11. Somehow Doug Peterson still has a job though. Next game, Dolphins 12, Texans 20. Dolphins just could not stop turning the ball over in this game. And CJ Stroud and Nico Collins hooked up a few times, made some big plays, and put them to sleep.
Um, yeah, this game, I'm trying to remember what I took from this. This
What
was
do you
the
got?
Texans. I'm pulling it up right now.
Got notes?
Texans Dolphins. Oh yeah, this was. I had the Dolphins winning this game,
Yeah,
and
me too.
they clearly didn't.
Yep, bad game. Um, Texans further cement themselves in playoff position. Dolphins living on a prayer, just like the Bengals. Next game, Colts 13, Broncos 31. This game changed when the minute Jonathan Taylor dropped that football at the 1 yard line and did not score a touchdown. The entire game flipped when that happened. And then the next thing you know is Denver goes right down the field, scores. Ensuing possession, I don't know why Shane Steichen called this play, but he calls thro a end around to the wide receiver, throwback pass to the quarterback. It gets picked off, pick six by Nick Benito.
The Bonito,
Yeah,
yeah, the fucking defensive player of the year. What has he got? Like 11 sacks and two pick sixes.
potentially, yeah.
I think the Broncos are for real, and we shall see tonight.
I don't think so. If you watched that game, they were not playing well, and neither was Bo Nix. Bo Nix played so bad in that game. And I think people are forgetting how bad his performance was because of the cataclysmic fall of the Colts in this one.
Yeah,
He threw three interceptions, and they weren't like, oh, wide receiver was right there or tipped ball. They were directly to defenders.
yeah. I just think it's yeah, it's got to be something where they're going to play the Steelers in the first round, and I don't think the Steelers are that good. And if they are, I mean, maybe that's going to be, I think, a good matchup just because I think both of them have good defenses. It's going to be boring football for the average NFL casual, but for people that appreciate a good defensive snobberknockle, that's going to be a fun game.
I mean, that's what it was in the first matchup between the two teams. Next game, we got Bills at Lions. Bills 48, Lions 42. I will say this. I will say that this game on the scoreboard looks a lot closer than what it was, but the Bills had this game in hand pretty easily. The Lions snuck back into it, but the Bills were taking it to them.
Yeah, and Jared Goff, that offense, they're going to keep them in any game, home or away. And you could say the same thing about the Bills, and that they're very similar teams. I just think the Lions are more dynamic of an offense, and the Bills have the best player in football, and Josh Allen. That's hands down. I think Josh Allen's one, Lamar Jackson's two, Pat Mahomes is one.
21.
Lamar Jackson's one as soon as the playoffs come. But
I don't know. I said Pat Mahomes is number 21.
no, I know you're trying to make a joke, but Pat Mahomes is still
Not Pat Mahomes.
big bad wolf.
He sucks.
He does not.
I've watched so many Chiefs games this year where he is honestly putting them in bad positions, not making plays, missing open plays, and overthrowing or underthrowing wide receivers constantly. But the team around him is very good, and they have a very good coach, and that is why they are winning games. Pat Mahomes has not been winning them games.
You can't tell me that Pat Mahomes is not a good quarterback.
At this stage right now, I do not think he's playing to the level or standard that we know of.
Hmm. All right.
You could say that right now. Can you has Aaron Rodgers had a good season?
No, I'm not taking this. I agree with you. I don't. My point is, Pat Mahomes is the best
Aaron
player.
Rodgers and Pat Mahomes have almost identical stat lines this season.
Cool, cool. I don't care. I said playoffs. Pat Mahomes is the best fucking player in the league when the playoffs start. We'll see. Chiefs make it to the AFC Championship, guarantee you.
I don't think so. I think they lose in the first round.
Okay,
They got to I'm I just
we can do a bet on it. We can
I
do a bet
can
on
smell it cooking that they got to face one of these AFC West opponents that they're familiar with, and they Drop a game to them. Chargers or Broncos, one of the two.
Not speaking of the Chiefs, but the Bills and the Lions. Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
good game.
Bills Lions.
That was a good game.
It was a very good game. I
I
do.
don't think it meant, I don't
I
think it
also
meant,
think
I don't think it meant much in terms of. I thought it was just a meant more for the Bills, but in the grand scheme of things, the Bills won the division. They're not going to get the one seed unless a miracle happens. And pretty much the same deal with the Lions. The Lions really wanted to keep that game because they got the Eagles up their ass. But yeah, it's you could say that's the reason it was a big game.
and then the biggest thing out of this game is David Montgomery's season-ending injury.
Yeah, that and Deline McNeil, who we could even
Oh
say is
yeah,
just big. So I mean, they're got some banged up defensive players, but they're the Lions. They got Brian Johnson, they got Dan Campbell. They're going to bite kneecaps and they're going to be relentless. So I would definitely not be nervous if I was a
Ben
Lions
Johnson.
fan. That's what I said.
You said Brian.
Damn it, Ben Johnson.
And Aaron Glenn. Next game, Steelers, Eagles, the Battle of Pennsylvania. Steelers 13, Eagles 27. Game changed when Najee Harris didn't look a pitch into his hands, and Eagles recovered the fumble. Eagles, in my opinion, were going to win this game no matter what, but that definitely turned the tide. Steelers were driving down the field and could potentially take a lead. Yeah, take the lead back after the Eagles just got the lead, or after the Eagles just kicked a field goal. So it would have tied the game. It would have been 20 to 20 if the Steelers scored a touchdown.
Yeah, I'll defer to you because I didn't watch much of this game, and not that it was a bad matchup, but um, you also keep more close of an eye on the Steelers than you do your own team. I feel like, and so you
It
watch
was a
them.
4 o'clock standalone game.
There was 5 games on at 4 o'clock this week.
I have YouTube TV where I can watch 4 games at once.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one at all.
Anyways, Steelers, I thought they played a decent game. Game changed with that fumble. Eagles took it to them though. I would say that AJ Brown and the Jalen Hurts connection is perfectly fine. Saquon Barkley got a little bit banged up in this game. I would say he's perfectly fine. He's not on the injury report. He did return to the game. He looked just like his normal self. And I would say Devontae Smith being back has been an X factor for the Eagles offense and has been opening up the middle of the field for passes from Jalen Hurts. Eagles are a dangerous team. Don't take them lightly. I also don't think that the Steelers, I think that the Steelers are a dangerous team. I know Cole doesn't, but I think the Steelers could almost beat anybody on any given Sunday.
Yeah, I think the Arizona Cardinals could beat anybody on any given Sunday.
I don't think so on that one. Oh, the Arizona Cardinals? I thought you said the Bears and the Cardinals.
No.
Well, yeah, I think the Arizona Cardinals can win at any game. It's really dependent on their run game. We'll get into that right here. Patriots, Cardinals. Cardinals 30, Patriots 17. James Conner led the way with 2 touchdowns. He could not be stopped by the Patriots defense. Patriots also made some boneheaded plays in this one. Kendrick Boutte with a tipped pass that went right into a defender's hands for a pick. That kind of flipped the switch in this one. They also had a goal line stand where they didn't convert, and the Cardinals took the ball back.
Yeah, and trying to remember some of this game. I think there's just that's the Arizona offense is rhythmic. They get into these drives where it's almost like they can't be stopped and it's masterful, but then some games they just don't click and it's like a light switch is on or off. And if they can just consistently, and which is obviously impossible in the NFL to have pure consistency, but if they can more consistently deliver some of that offensive result that they've been doing, more this season than last, and Kyler Murray's been healthy, and they're finally starting to have some weapons on the outside that aren't just, one specific quarterback running around trying to make magic happen. I don't know. I think they're still not dead, but I mean, they need some help, and the Rams look really, really good right now, and I don't see the Rams choking the division now that they're at where they're at.
Yeah, I don't see the Rams coughing up that division lead right now, especially with the way they've been playing the last 2 weeks. Cardinals, I do agree with you that they do get into these rhythms. I'm telling you, it stems from the run game. If James Conner can get 3 to 4 yards per rush, they are going to be an efficient offense, and Kyler can lead them down the field. But the minute he gets stuffed, the whole game plan changes. Next game, Buccaneers 40, Chargers 17. Baker Mayfield throws for 4 touchdown passes in a dominant victory over the Chargers. This game was close early, was close to going into the half, 13 to 17 with the Chargers up, but all second half Buccaneers. Lately, it's looked like just the Chargers can only play one good half of football. Um, Nearly lost that Bengals game where they played a great first half, terrible second half. Ravens game, they played a great first half, terrible second half, lost that one. Chiefs game, played a terrible first half, good second half, couldn't squeak the win out. This one, terrible second half, got killed. Bucks looking dangerous with Baker looking back to his normal self, Bucky Irving chipping off almost 10 yards a carry, Mike Evans back in the lineup with 159 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Jalen McMillan is making a name for himself right now.
Yeah, I think the Bucks are right now just looking dangerous going in the playoffs, and Baker Mayfield is quietly having one of the top five. He's a top five quarterback in the league right now statistically, and I don't know. You think with him, Mike Evans playing the way he is, and that running game with Bucky Irving and Rashad White, and that offensive line's no slouch. Their defensive front seven's pretty damn good. Antoine Winfield in the back end, CJ McCollum. Uh, I don't know. Their defense can just turn it on any second with Todd Bowles, and they're scary to me in the playoffs. So good team to get hot at the right time.
That's exactly what they're doing right now. Winners of, I think, 4 of their last 5. Sunday Night Football, Packers at Seattle Seahawks. We talked about it last week. Packers hadn't won there since what, 2011?
I think it was 2007, but
2007.
they go Pack Go Chance were all over the place in that game, and I never would have expected that. We ran the ball right down their throats, and kind of thought they would bring more defensively in the front from as far as from Seattle's standpoint, but they played a lot better against the run in the second half. The Packers, I mean, they're the better team. Seahawks offensive line's terrible, and our defense made them pay for that. Beyond that, the once Geno Smith got hurt and Sam Howell was in the game, it was all but over. And I mean, kind of a boring game to watch if you're just an average NFL fan. I mean, for Packers, it was awesome, but
It was very boring.
yeah,
Very boring, and you are exactly right. The minute Gino got taken out of the game, Sam Howell comes in, and it wasn't a game anymore. It was three and out turnover, whatever you want
I
to
told
call it.
I was drunk when I was watching this, obviously, but I told my dad, I was like, I have never experienced an easier half of football in my life. Like that was the easiest half of football to ever watch, the
The
first
first
half. And
half, yeah,
I went in to halftime not feeling bad at all about anything. I was just like, it's 20-3. Even when we could have gotten 4 more points at the half, and Matt LaFleur had the worst 2 minute time management I've ever seen, but
yeah, it was
just give him
tough.
because he's a great coach. But anyways, next game.
Little stat that I saw for you today. That 2022 wide receivers class touted as one of the best. Olave, Wilson, um, who's the other guy? Jameson Williams, all those guys. Number one in touchdowns out of that draft class, Romeo Dobbs. Number two, Christian Watson
Yeah, and I bet Jaden Reed's number one in that the next touchdown class.
in 2023.
Yeah,
Uh,
I bet he's number
it'd
one.
be
If not, he's top two or three.
it'd be close with how well
Addison.
Zay has played.
No, Zay won't have as many touchdowns. I think Addison would maybe, but no,
Yeah.
we forget Jaden Reed had 11 touch or 12 touchdowns last year, and on his rookie
But
season,
how many of them were rushing though?
I think three or two, and then he's got some. I think at least five this year.
Hmm. Packers looking good. Seahawks gotta hope that Geno can return to the lineup. He's a full participant in practice today. So hopeful for Sunday. Told you also last week how valuable Josh Jacobs is to your team. He just keeps hammering, man.
And it's not even our offensive line. It's honestly it's Josh
He's
Jacobs
he's
getting 3 yards after getting hit at like 1 yard pass line of scrimmage,
yeah, he's patient with
which worries
the
me. It worries me a little bit with the way we're running. I think we are not as good of a run blocking team and as our run game is, and it's purely because of I
him.
think Matt LaFleur's design and Josh Jacobs as a player, and he's making up for some of the weakness we have in downfield blocking.
I would say three of the four best running teams in the NFL right now are in the NFC.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football, Bears at Vikings. Ooh, was this a bad one for Bears fans? Bears 12, Vikings 30. Vikings take it to a bad team. Bears are all but done. They should forfeit the last three games of the season because they just does not look good. And Caleb Williams just continues to lose confidence left and right. Vikings continue to go in stride after those two losses that they had. Sam Darnold's playing really well again. And they don't look now, but they are right behind the Lions in the NFC North.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting now with that loss to the Bills, you got three teams there that can get the one seed, and all of a sudden the Vikings are going to play that much harder for that spot because a five seed and a one seed are a huge difference.
Next game we got Falcons 40 Falcons Raiders, Falcons 15, Raiders 9. Desmond Ritter nearly had a game-winning drive in this one. Stemmed off of a roughing the passer call, but still Desmond Ritter nearly could have won this game. Falcons squeak it out, but they decide to make a quarterback change and Kirk Cousins is no longer QB1. It will now be Michael Penix as they're on the outside looking in at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers who have all of a sudden taken the number one spot in the NFC South.
And I think you called that too, saying do the Falcons move on from Cousins to Penix, and here they are. I don't think it's a bad idea. I know people are saying like you're still in it. Why would you move on? And I mean, I think Kirk's such a good teammate that it's not like he's giving up on the team. And you could, if Penix all of a sudden sucks in the first half of this coming game, you can put Kirk Cousins back in, and Kirk Cousins isn't going to pull a Devondre Campbell and say he's not coming back in the game. You know, like he'll play. So I don't necessarily think it's a terrible idea just to try to see if Penix can get hot and catch fire.
I agree. I also think that it's kind of a see what you got. Maybe Falcons fans have a little bit of a, I'd say, gripe because maybe if they lost this coming week and they fall to 7-8, and then they're three games behind the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get back into it, and two games to play, obviously can't happen. Maybe make the move to Penix. So that's why I was like, maybe they have an argument, but sooner than later, you had to make the move. Kirk wasn't doing it. He even said, or You could tell in his post-game interview when they asked him, like, you weren't playing your best and this team still got the win. Like he knows he's not playing his best and it's like wearing on him.
Yeah, and I think it's part of just his injury. I think there's a little bit of lack of mobility in what he's able to do, and it's causing him to already as a not mobile quarterback have to overcompensate with his footwork and his legs and how he drives into a football. And he doesn't seem to throw with the same type of delivery and kind of pushing the ball down the field. I don't see it. It seems like a lot of balls float on him, and he doesn't really. You can't really tell if it's just bad decisions or his accuracy because of the ball floating and not pushing downfield. Just looks like it's half a second slow, but he looks like a backup quarterback right now.
You mentioned footwork. I did notice that in a lot of his throws, he is throwing a little bit like awkwardly with his feet, like back foot's not planted, he's kind of jumping or like just not looking like himself where like he has the plantedness of the two legs and then delivers. Yeah, maybe the injury's affecting him. We'll see. All right, let's move into second down. Second down is brought to you by um some people that are really nice during the holiday season. First game, obviously we have Thursday night football going on right now. Broncos are currently up 7-0 on the Chargers with 7:34 left to go in the first quarter.
Broncos offense just drove the ball right down the Chargers defense's throat on the road, and I think Tim Harbaugh was flabbergasted at what his defense did. Junior Colson, his Michigan linebacker, just completely misread the play at the goal line, and Williams, just I believe it was Williams that had the ball that time, just walked right into the end zone. They just drove the ball, ran it right down their throats. Didn't really even have to take the ball, over the air. And I know you don't think the Broncos are. I think the Broncos are they're legit. I think they have a defensive pass rush. I think they have a secondary, and I think right now their offense is playing really well under Sean Payton.
Chargers have stumbled a bit since the J.K. Dobbins injury, and that one's been plaguing them a bit. He was their dynamic playmaker for the first, what, 11, 12 games in the season. He has that injury against the Baltimore Ravens, and their offense just has not looked as synchronized since J.K. Dobbins has left. Ready to go into Saturday? Because we got a
Yeah,
bumpy schedule ahead. All
yeah,
right, Saturday games, 1 p.m. The Houston Texans will take on the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. Kansas City is 3.5 point favorites at home.
3.5.
3.5.
Yeah, I mean, give me the Chiefs in this. I just think it's a. This is when the Chiefs start playing really good at football. They start
Yeah,
playing really well, and Texans typically don't. So, it'd be nice if this could be a close game, which I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I'm thinking like 8 points, 7 points.
yeah, they will be competing with college football Saturday. These two games.
Yep.
Um, I don't know how much I'll pay attention to these games. I think I'll be probably more in tune to the college football, but definitely something to flip on. I do agree with you that, it's coming down to the home stretch of the to the season. Chiefs got to start playing better. You know,
This is perfect because I have a feeling some of these playoff games are going to be blowouts. So I think it'll
like they
be,
have been in recent history.
yeah. And I just think having this type of game to turn on, if that, because there's nothing worse than watching a college game that's 30 something to 0, in the second quarter. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, I have nothing relevant to watch.
It's very true. Uh, Reminiscent of that Oklahoma LSU game in that first round of the college football playoff when LSU went on to win the national championship. Second game, we got Steelers at Ravens. Big game in the AFC North. Ravens, 6.5 point favorites at home. I would say that's a pretty big line.
Yeah, give me the Ravens in that. I just think the Ravens are, again, they're the better team. You can't tell me the Ravens aren't a better team than the Steelers. I know you disagree. To
I'm not
me,
saying I disagree. I just know that the Steelers have beaten them a lot over the course of Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh's careers.
yeah, I look at it like a Lamar Jackson versus Russell Wilson thing in this type of era. Just I think quarterbacks are the most important position. Neither of those coaches are offensive play callers. So to me, it's, what does the offense bring? And to me, it's the quarterback. And I'll take Lamar Jackson and the way that offense is playing now over that Steelers offense any day. Obviously, Steelers have a defense that's three levels better than the Ravens, but the Ravens have been playing better the last couple of weeks. So
Lamar
we shall
Jackson
see.
is 1-5 against the combined Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett, and Russell Wilson.
Isn't that crazy? Although he's only played 6 games against the Steelers in his career so far.
So it's because of
Yeah,
COVID was a big one. And then he did get hurt that one year going down the stretch of the year, and then like Snoop Huntley had to play, like he had the hamstring injury. That's the Bengals Ravens playoff game that like ended 13-9 or whatever. It'll be interesting. I don't think you're wrong with saying take the Ravens because this is just a recipe for them to split this year. Um, I don't know, like the thing that scares me about taking the Ravens in this one would be that the Steelers are coming off a loss.
yeah.
All right, Sunday football. Giants at Falcons. Michael Penix. First start in the NFL. He's a 9 point favorite.
Just make him a 10-point favorite. This shit's whack. I just want to see Penix play well. I mean, let's see another really good rookie quarterback come out of this thing, and I'm sure he will play well. It'd be great to see him spread the ball out, get Kyle Pitts 2 touchdowns, get Mooney a touchdown, London gets a touchdown, 5 touchdown performance for fucking Drake
Michael
London or
Penix.
Michael Penix. I mean, shit, how cool would that be?
Be interesting. Next game, we got Lions at Bears. Lions 6.5 point favorites going into Soldier Field.
Yeah, give me the fucking Lions by 11, 12. This shit's again. We're getting to the point where the NFL season gets boring because you don't get that many good matchups in a season or at the end of the season. And I know that some of these weaker teams can live up to and make things scrappy, but I'm not seeing it at a lot of these fucking teams. And I'm sure the Bears will play hard against the Packers in the final week of the season, but fuck this. I mean, what are we doing? Lions by fucking 12.
I mean, this is just how the season plays out, but um, I have rooting interest in this week because draft. But Browns at Bengals. Bengals 9 point favorites at home. A lot of Browns fans are like, let's end the Bengals season. That's not going to happen.
I think, and I want the Bengals to win because I want there to be some type of playoff implications, with these bubble teams and not have all 7 teams clinched with like 2 weeks to play.
Yeah, I understand. So you're rooting for the Broncos then for
And
the in this game.
the Broncos, I'm rooting for the Colts and the Titans, and then I'm rooting for the Bengals and the Browns game.
All right, Titans Colts. Just mentioned it. Colts 3.5 point favorites. Mason Rudolph, quarterback of the Titans.
Yeah, this will be a good game. Solely because I think the Titans always play the Colts pretty well, and the Colts kind of just fucking sleep through football games, and they'll have a drive or two. They look really good. They'll play really well for a whole quarter, and then they'll just look like a trash ass team for a quarter or two. So um, I don't trust Anthony Richardson. I've said that multiple times. I don't think him as a quarterback is gonna work, and I don't think he's ever gonna get franchise money. But I think he's going to be an enticing option to have on a team. And I don't know. I just don't see him working out. I'm trying to compare him to any other type of prospect that obviously Cam Newton, but I don't think he has the type of playmaking that Cam Newton did on a consistent basis.
Deshaun Kaiser.
Deshaun Kaiser was not nearly the and I know Deshaun Kaiser well from I know he was on the Browns. Then we liked him, so we made them on the Packers, and he started a couple games for us, and he isn't the same type of guy. He's Deshaun Kaiser's like fucking Deshaun Kaiser's more like a 6'2", 6'3", great arm, athletic, but not that athletic. Almost like a I don't know, whatever.
Almost like an Anthony Richardson.
Anthony Richardson's like five fucking whatever. He's faster, better athlete. Anthony Richardson could play tight end if he was physical and didn't take himself out of the game when he gets tired.
You're basically describing Terrell Pryor.
Terrell and Terrell Pryor was a better athlete than Anthony Richardson. That's
A lot of
about as
people
close.
forget Pryor had a 1,000 yard receiving season with the
Yeah,
Browns.
and he was also a stud for like a year or two when he went to the Commanders or the Redskins. Terrell Pryor is a name. I liked him a lot, especially when he was on the Raiders and was first showing out. He was a fun player to watch all the way back even at Ohio State.
Jim Tressel memories. All right, next game, Rams Jets. Rams 3-point road favorites. Obviously, the Jets aren't having the best season, but that line kind of surprises me with how the Rams have been playing. Jets did play well last week, but was it just the Jaguars?
Yeah, Rams win this game heavily. There's just Puka Nakua is going to have two touchdowns. Promise you.
Next game, Eagles Commanders, big one. Eagles 3.5 point favorites going into what is it? RFK Stadium, whatever it's called, Ralph John or whatever.
Yeah. Eagles are 2.5 point favorites.
3.5.
Yeah, I like it.
Um, Next game we got Cardinals Panthers. Cardinals 5-point favorites on the road going to Carolina.
I like this one too, just because I don't like the way the Panthers looked last week at home against the fucking Cowboys. That was pretty pathetic.
It was the first time that they were favorited in a game
30
in
games.
30 games, and they did not put together a performance that showed that they should have been a favorite. Um, Cardinals should be able to run the ball in this one too. Next game, Vikings Seahawks. This is what you're talking about, where playoff implications. Vikings are 3-point favorites going into Seattle. Geno Smith questionable right now, but all signs pointing to him playing.
Yeah, let's see on this. This is to me, the Vikings defense is gonna just eat the shit out of that Seahawks offensive line. And if the Vikings can just take advantage, the one thing I will say is I think the Seahawks have a pretty good secondary. So that's one thing you have to be kind of aware of with those receivers. But uh, I think the Vikings defensive pass rush just takes advantage of them.
Of that bad Seahawks offensive line. Next game, kind of a bummer, but wouldn't surprise me if this one squeaks into a close one. Patriots at Bills. Bills are a 14-point home favorite.
Yeah, plus 14 for sure on that with the Patriots. I like the Patriots keeping that closer than 14.
Yep. This one I have a lot of intrigue in. Doesn't do anything for you, but I have intrigue in it. Jaguars at Raiders. Raiders 1.5 point favorites.
Yeah, this is the best game of the day for sure. Draft picks, crazy. I mean, we're talking
That's
about
where I'm at right now. I
we're talking
need
about this is the
one of
Tom
these teams
Brady.
is going to win, so I need them to go past the Browns.
This is the Kevin Burkhardt Tom Brady game. This is the Jim Nance and Tony Romo game. This is the one where they put their best on. Cannot wait for this game. Um, I'm trying to think of one thing nice to say. Brock Bowers next.
Brock Bowers is great. Next game, 49ers at Dolphins. Both teams at 6-8. Miami's a 1 point favorite. Loser bowl.
This is they both are still not mathematically eliminated, right? I think
Yeah.
they both have like 1% chance.
Yeah.
So
Technically, I think the 49ers have a better percentage because of their structure and their division.
yeah, they just I mean, let's see. I've seen crazier shit happen.
Sunday Night Football, Buccaneers at Cowboys. Buccaneers 4 point favorites on the road. Cowboys have been playing better.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a close enough game to make it watchable until end of the third quarter, and then I think the Bucks pull away.
Crazier things have happened. Monday Night Football, Saints at Packers. Packers 14 point home favorites. Whew.
Yeah, Saints plus 14 for sure on this. Uh, you wish you had a better matchup, but it's Packers last home game, and no, I think we play in Lambeau against the Bears. I think, but we'd be probably resting our starters. So yeah, I mean, this is I don't know what the snow forecast is. You hopefully it snows and all that bullshit, but this is not a great game, so kind of sucks.
Not a great one to say the least. Heading to third down. Lock, an upset of the week. Lock last week for Cole was the Ravens. Ding. Upset for Cole was the Browns. What do you got this week?
My lock is going to be the Lions.
Like it. I like it. Cole is 9-6 on locks, by the way.
My upset of the week is going to be mm, my upset of the week will be the 49ers.
49ers. Good pick. I like it. Um, I'll ride with you. 49ers for my upset. We are both 3-12 on the year, so might as well ride together. My lock of the week will be the Bills over the Patriots. Um, Fourth down. Give me a best and sneakiest matchup real quick.
Best matchup, the one that's caught my eye outside of the Jags Raiders game, of course. I think
You're really being a dick.
Eagles Commanders. I think that one has some implications on both ends.
Sneakiest.
Sneakiest. Hmm, I think the Cardinals Panthers game could be a really fun game to watch just because I think Bryce Young could still be playing like somewhat of the last 2 months of Bryce Young. And then the Cardinals are looking good on offense and they have a lot to play for. So it could be one of those shootouts.
Best matchup for me is Steelers Ravens. Love me some AFC North football. These two teams don't like each other. Sneakiest matchup for me, already previewed it. Jaguars Raiders. I'm tuned in 425 into that game.
I buy it. I buy it.
All right. Well, we'll head into our pick six. Last week, Cole went 3-3. That puts him at 47, 41 and 2 on the year. I also went 3-3. We've been, I think, lockstep at 3-3 the last 4 weeks. Um, Puts me at 55, 34 and 1 on the year. What do you got for me, bud?
Give me the Niners +1.
49ers +1, first pick. My first pick, Rams -3.
Give me the Patriots +14.
Patriots +14 against the Buffalo Bills. I got Eagles -3.5.
Give me the Rams as well.
Rams -3. I got Bucks -4 against the Cowboys.
Give me the Saints +14.
Saints +14 against the Go Pack Go. I got Chiefs -3.5 against the Texans.
I'd have the same thing.
That's your next pick too.
Yeah.
All right. My next pick, I got Steelers +6.5 against the Ravens.
Give me the Vikings over the Seahawks.
Vikings 3.5.
1.5, I believe.
3.
We got a
I got
game. This is the
I got Bengals -9. Yeah, I'm trying to go watch. I got Bengals -9 as my last pick. All right, that's our pick six, folks. Give me an anytime touchdown scorer, Cole.
Give me Puka Nakua, guaranteed.
Puka Nacua, guaranteed. He guaranteed it, folks. Give me Brock Bowers. Brock
That's a
Bowers.
good one.
You want me to go even a little riskier too?
Yeah,
A little risky.
Drake May.
Give me Calvin Ridley.
We should do all four of those just for fun.
Um, yeah, I'll be back in Connecticut so I can bet by Sunday.
Do that parlay. Calvin Ridley,
Brock Bowers.
May, Brock Bowers, and Puka Nakua.
What's when you say Drake May, just a passing or like rushing?
No, it's rushing, which is like probably going to be like a +400, +350.
The Calvin Ridley one would intrigue me because he's only scored 3 times this year.
Yeah, he'll probably be like a +175, +180.
Can you explain to me how you lost everything on the Browns?
I put my biggest, I basically, so I lost everything on Army Navy. I deleted my entire, I started out with $150 week one. Took my way all up to 750 by like a month ago. And the last 3.5 weeks, I've slowly lost my money. And I've been down to like $480. I used all of it minus $60 on Army, and I lost all of it. And I was like, okay, I got to put all my money on one 1 p.m. game to basically get this back. So I put 60 on fucking Cleveland money line, and I put the other 20 on Dolphins, and
Damn.
I took myself out.
Give me give me your 4 teams that move on in the college football playoff this week.
Let me look at the
First,
schedule.
oh, I got you. First matchup, Clemson, Texas.
Texas by far.
Uh, Indiana, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, and I hope it's close, but it's not going to be. I want Indiana.
Penn State.
This is the game that intrigues me. This
Who's
is
Penn State playing?
SMU.
SMU. I
This
just
is the
saw
game that
them when I
intrigues
went
me.
to the ACC championship game.
I know. You couldn't tell me you don't think SMU is the better team.
They came out so flat in that first half
Yes,
against Clemson.
they're so much more dynamic, and their offense is like when they're on full speed, full throttle. They're high tempo. I really like Jennings, their quarterback. I
I
think
like that wide receiver, Roderick Daniels.
they're fucking fast, and they also have a good defense. I think their issue is I don't know if they've played in that many big games and that was big environments like this. And I think Penn State, that's the perfect team to play for Penn State in the first round because I think SMU, like Penn State's weak. I think that's a game where like I wouldn't be shocked if SMU stuns them, but Penn State's really like they suck in big games, and this is a big game that I think they're better in.
Yeah, that's an intriguing matchup. And then the final one. So who you got in that one?
I think this is the game everyone thinks is going to be the best game, but I think Ohio State takes this one.
Well, I was asking who wins in Penn State SMU.
Oh, I think Penn State does, unfortunately.
Penn State and Ohio State are your last three or two.
Yeah,
I this is risky, but um
Tennessee.
I think Texas beats Clemson like you. I think Indiana has a chance against Notre Dame. I could be so wrong. I would like to see Indiana win, so I'll take Indiana. Penn State for my father, and then I pray to the heavens. Tennessee beats Ohio State in Columbus.
It would be kind of a cool thing. I don't necessarily love Tennessee.
I don't either. Ohio State fans are so fucking cocky this year, and they have absolutely no right to be. One, you haven't won in 10 years. Two, you just got beat by your rival in an embarrassing fashion at home. Three, you lost a game earlier this season that you only lost by 1 point, but you should have lost by more. Refs kind of gave fucking Ohio State a little bit of leeway in that one. Don't talk to me about the fucking Jeremiah Smith push off. Um, but in this Tennessee Ohio State matchup, it's strength against weakness, and like we've seen this time and time again of like, talk about strength and weaknesses of two teams, and then all of a sudden the team that's supposed to be weaker counters the strength of the other team. The strength of Tennessee is their defensive line, and the weakness right now because of injuries is Ohio State's offensive line, and they got bullied in that Michigan game. So that puts the intrigue in my mind of can Tennessee play good defense and Nico Iamaleava not really turn the ball over and just put up enough points to beat Ohio State while the defense keeps their Ohio State's offense at bay.
Yeah, Georgia's winning the whole thing.
I think so too.
Not even really close. It's just the easiest schedule and
I think their backup quarterback is
better than
better than
that.
Carson Beck.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know if he's better right now, but I think he's got more moxie and I don't know.
Stetson Bennett-esque.
Yeah, really.
Really reminded me of Stetson Bennett, honestly. Kind of just like that leader that Georgia just needed. But I'll let you go, buddy. You have a great week. Go Pack, go. Go Brownies. We love you guys. Have a good one.